go 1, 2, 3 and then you don't do anything, and then you go 1, 2, 3 again and you still don't do anything. And then how do you feel about turning into one?
I don't know, I feel like I'm still not used to being 20 yet.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, Jasmine, who is my daughter, and you can catch her over on Just Jazz.
Yep.
Just Jazz X.
Just Jazz X on Instagram.
Just Jazz X on Instagram, or Just Jazz here. So we're on quite a long road trip, and we thought that we might have a little chit wag with you, a little bit of a chat, because I really love those videos. Do you, Jasmine?
Yeah.
When people are just having a general chin wag and you feel like you're in the car with us, just saying hi, how's things going and all of that. So we're on the M25 right now. If you're not from the UK, it's a famous road that goes all the way around London, and it's normally a nightmare, but it's actually really clear this morning, isn't it? So it's Saturday morning and we're on our way to a wedding today, which is interesting because of the whole COVID situation. So Jasmine, what do you think we should talk about on this video? What do you think my viewers, and there's a lot of them that like it when we sit and chat, you know, when we had that cup of tea at the breakfast bar the other day and we was chatting to the camera, I had quite a few inbox messages saying that they really enjoyed that. Just us having a chin wag. So what sort of things do you think that these guys might want to talk about, listen to?
I don't know, whenever I watch people, I normally watch people for them, and I just watch pretty much whatever they upload.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, we do, because we just like when people just chat and have a giggle and that, don't
Yeah, because
we?
I think we watch people more for like their personality or like who they are, rather than specifically like
what they're talking about.
Yeah,
that's true. That actually.
whereas some people might like particularly like fitness or home, whereas I kind of watch people that just do a bit of everything.
Yeah, it's the same actually. I mean, I'm not, if somebody was just uploading a load of fashion stuff, clothing hauls, things like that, I probably wouldn't be so interested. But if it's somebody on YouTube that I'm already interested in, like Megan Grubb, we've spoken about her quite a lot on my channel recently, we proper love watching all of her stuff. And I don't know what it is about Megan. I think that she's got quite a positive slant on everything, even though life gets in the way. And that's a little bit where I'm at, I think, with my channel and the way that I sort of feel about things. Like there is life stuff, and I think everybody's got that, don't you? Even if on the outside it all looks perfect, everybody's got a challenge.
Yeah.
And it's really how you look at it, which is, I suppose, where my channel's at. That's a nice car. That's an Insignia. Your father used to always want one of those.
Really?
Yeah. So, what about that? So, I mean, we could talk about so many things here where we could go so much deeper. And I think if we'd done a Q&A, put questions out there, what would people want to know? I mean, you might know, you might not. But Jasmine is an IVF baby, so there's loads that we can talk about. Her and Nathan are twins, and you know, I really went through some stuff to bring them into the planet, and I'm so lucky.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So 9 years, and well, we've both done an antibody test recently, haven't we? And when Jasmine was doing their finger prick thing, she was like, "Oh, I'm feeling a bit thingy," which you do. I mean, anybody does when they're trying to inject themselves or something. I got so used to it. Oh, my leaves falling down.
I didn't know you had to do it yourself.
I did, yeah. So when I first started, it was in 2000. It was in 19. You were born in 2000. 1994, I think my first lot of injections were. So I went through a lot of fertility treatment before that, but some of it was just tablets and things. And then, I think we should just talk about life. I've just seen the title of this video talking about life stuff.
Yeah.
So I had fertility tablets and things to try and make you ovulate, so they weren't sure if I was ovulating or not. Anyway, and then when they first started doing it, it's probably so different now. You alright? Did we get up early this morning?
It was a bit of a fake yawn. You know when you think you need to yawn and then it doesn't.
That's a trait of your father's as well.
Come out of yawn.
He would generally do that when he was telling a lie. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, well, and I think, oh, here we go, there's another lie." So yeah, but I can't be horrible about him. Look what he gave me in the world. Yeah. So
I think everyone's got a bit of a thing when they lie. Like, I think if you know someone well enough, you can look at them and tell straight away if they're lying. Like with Nathan, like he would never lie about anything bad, but like you can tell he's got a bit of like a smirk.
Yeah, but you guys both do that anyway in the wrong moments sometimes. Like something really bad can happen and you come in and go, "Oh, guess what's happened?" and they grin.
But it's not because we think it's funny.
No, I know it's not. I know it's just you're like, ooh. Anyway, So
it's almost like a bit of like an awkward smile.
But what I've got to say, going back to him quickly, when we first started having to have injections, it had to be in the buttock. It's called an intramuscular injection, and then they learned that you could do it in your other muscles as well, but for whatever reason they liked it to be in the buttock. And they used to teach the men to inject into an orange. So there was a specific class that they used to run to teach the men to inject into an orange, and he had a phobia of anything, needles, hospitals, anything. And in fairness, on that first month, I mean, alright, we went through 9 years of it, but that first month he came every day for everything, even if it was a scan or something he didn't have to come to. He came every single day, and he injected me for the first, I think, 3 months in my bottom. And then after that they started to get something that you can preload, and then you put it on your leg and you go 1, 2, 3, and then you don't do anything, and then you go 1, 2, 3 again and you still don't do anything, and then you go 1, 2, 3 and you still don't do anything, and then you think, if I could do this next one then I can reward myself with a cup of tea and a biscuit. So then you do it. So I had to sort of start doing it myself, but anyway, it was so worth it, and I'm really one of the lucky ones because not everybody gets a positive outcome, and it was always on my mind never to assume that. And so yeah, I do think I'm really lucky, and I do wonder, like, where would I be in life if I hadn't had you?
Probably still working ridiculous hours.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I ever did. A bit of a workaholic, working in the hospitality events industry, and I don't know, I mean, maybe I would have. It's difficult because we had Cassie, a German Shepherd dog, and so I wouldn't have left her, because would I have gone and worked on cruise ships or something like that? That would have been quite exciting to do. But I don't know. I don't think I would have been sort of settled down kind of person. I don't think I would have been a settled down person. Nice colour car. It's an Audi though.
Cute.
Yeah. So yeah. And here you are, nearly 21. How do you feel about
old?
How do you feel that you're not getting old? How do you feel about turning 21?
I don't know. I feel like I'm still not used to being 20 yet.
20 was.
I don't know if that's because the world's not really been very open, or if I'm just not used to it. I don't know.
It's been such a weird year, hasn't it?
It has.
Really weird year. And don't you think it's gone really fast?
It has.
Because when we look back at New Year's, and everybody was saying, wasn't they, oh, 2020 is going to be the year, it's going to be our year. I said it, people I knew said it, everyone said it, and then what happened? I don't know. Manifestation purposes, that doesn't make sense to me, because if we was all saying it's going to be, oh, so pretty around here, if we was all saying it's going to be like this amazing year, and then it all went wrong, tits up, should we say, what's that about?
Not a clue.
I don't know either, but it's happened and it's here, and people keep asking me, I don't know, is this wonky? I don't know. People keep asking me as a scientist, like, what do I think that they're going to do?
There's so many arguments to this question.
Yeah, it's such an early thing, you know, in science terms. They sort of have just found this new virus, and they're going to behave differently to other viruses. I mean, like, we can have some viruses stay in our bodies forever, and some, like, they have the, people don't understand, but when you have the flu jab every year, it's because you're not immune to it anymore, so you have to have that done again the next winter.
Oh, I thought it was because there was a new strain of flu.
Oh, did you?
Wait, so it's just because the antibodies run out after like a year?
Yeah, I mean, they give some, maybe it just needs topping up. It could be something like that. I mean, if somebody's had a flu jab and then they have an antibody test for the flu, are they going to have antibodies? Yes, because that's how it works. So that's why they want to give us the COVID vaccination, so that we build up immunity to it.
I don't think I want it. I think they were saying on the news the other day that injections normally, or like vaccines normally take like 20, 30 years to make.
They do, they take.
And now they're speaking about having one beginning of next year, and you think it's not even been a year that you've been making that. So
yeah. Do you know what? I mean, obviously, yes, I do know quite a lot about epidemiology, qualified and all that, with that sort of stuff. But we are just talking about our opinions on this. We're not giving any advice or any, like, saying this is a fact, because that's really been a thing online, hasn't it? So many people, like, I had a text, she won't mind me saying, I had a text from my friend last night saying, that's it, another lockdown on Wednesday. oh my god, is there definitely going to be another lockdown? That's what I thought. There'd been an announcement that I'd missed. But if you said that to someone else who could have completely freaked out and got out all the toilet rolls off the shelves again, you know?
I still don't get why toilet rolls out everything. If I was locked in my house for God knows how long, I wouldn't be worrying about toilet rolls. I'd be worrying about food.
Well, exactly. I mean, I suppose toilet rolls are luxury that we've come to love. And
yeah,
that's a good way of putting it, actually, isn't it?
No one wants to be without them, obviously.
No, not
But
really.
it's not the thing I'd go and grab off the shelves if I had 5 minutes to go and do my shopping.
Yeah, exactly. I think people think, oh, we'll stock up on those just in case. I mean, I'm going to go stock up on hair colour just in case, because we're the lucky ones. But anyway, so I don't know what might happen. I couldn't predict what might happen, but we've got this day out today, and we're going to sort of make the most of it, but be really careful, because we really tinkered on do we come or do we not come, same as everybody else. And I've got to make a video soon, and I'm probably going to do it this week, Jazz. I keep being asked, like, is it safe to travel? $1 million question, and it's really got to be everybody's own opinion, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it depends on people as well, because like I work with the public quite a lot, which is a weird way to put it, but like you see so many people. Like, I've served people from the NHS, but they're trying to get really close, and they'll go and take a face mask off to talk to you, and you're like,
And you're thinking,
like,
you've been near all the COVID people, keep away from me.
yeah, and you think surely they're the ones that know how important it is to keep this like limited, otherwise they're going to get overwhelmed again. And
Well, exactly, but the chances are they might be the people who really wash their hands and change their clothes when they come out of work, because they're that much more due diligence. I don't know if that's quite the right way to put it, but yeah. So I know. But
yeah, they
anyway.
come and get close to little old me. How do they know I've not got it?
Well, yeah, there's the reverse.
There's no guarantee to anyone having it or not having it. I mean, we think we've had it already, but antibody tests said otherwise. But
Yeah.
there's also questions on that the antibodies don't last very long. But on my I don't know how many people know this, but on my antibody test, it was one that like gives you the results in about 10 to 15 minutes, and the results almost looked a bit like a pregnancy test, didn't they, Mum?
Yeah, had to get lines on it.
Yeah.
And I'm an expert in those. I've done 1 million over the years, definitely.
Yeah. And the two different lines were to say if you've got short-term antibodies or long-term antibodies, and obviously if you've got no lines, then you've got no antibodies. But I think it's interesting how a little test like that can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it did say it wasn't 100% certain.
But the thing is, though, as well, and all right, as a scientist, you have to look at all sorts of different things. You have to look at what could be that possible outcome, what could have skewed your result. Now, that one drop of blood from that one piece of finger, that might not have had antibodies in it, but you could have your antibodies in your other arm or something like that. You know what I mean? In theory.
Yeah, they might just not have been in that part of my blood at that time.
Yes, exactly.
Not just stored them in my other arm.
But you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's one little drop of blood. This is why it's really good to take, when you're doing like trials, it's really good to take it from a really wide cross section of people, which is what Imperial College London are doing at the moment, which is why they called Jasmine up for her antibody test. And like my antibody test was different. I had to send mine off. And
You needed a lot more, like a bigger sample as
yeah,
well.
we did a lot more blood, so therefore it had to be in all of my finger, not just in the one little droplet, but yeah. So I don't know, it's a funny old world right now, and I think part of me is a little bit concerned because they're starting to say people over the age of 50, but like, why was I, again, see, I came under that bracket. Last year when I was 49, I came under that bracket of being okay. This year, I'm not okay, so it's a cut-off point, isn't it? And they just have to do what they can do when they can do it, and I think they're all just doing the best they can, and goodness knows, I don't know. I think everybody's got to just stay patient and stuff, haven't they? Look at the whole life thing.
Yeah, it's difficult to know because I saw a debate the other day. I'm not really a person that watches debates, but
No, but we have watched a few more things that we don't normally watch recently because it's interesting, isn't it?
yeah, it is. And we came across one
rather than like an individual person approach, is to realise that nearly everyone has had so many ups and downs in this whole thing, so for no reason. What was that thing you saw, a meme or something like that the other day, and it was like
a Corona coaster.
That's it.
I can't remember what it said now.
Yeah, but it said 1 minute you're there, 1 minute you're there, 1 minute you're like, oh great, we're staying at home and we're watching films, and then the next minute you're like, oh my god, it's the end of the world, you know. And that is literally, so many people have been feeling like that, and I think it's just like realising, recognising this is when I've had a few days like that, but mine's generally been for a reason that I can attach into. But sometimes it hasn't. If it's been for no reason whatsoever, I just sort of think, this is how I'm feeling, I really, really don't like it, keep yourself safe and just know that it's going to pass, you know, do the best you can. I mean, I'm really lucky that we've got this relationship we have, and everybody says that, so I can always talk to Jasmine and say to her, look, I'm feeling like this. She knows that, you know, that's just the way it is, and I think everybody has had some weird feeling, haven't they? Because it's,
yeah, I think most people have, even just like days where they're just like a little bit not themselves or something.
Unprecedented times. Looking at people that have got the underlying, we've just had a bit of a debate actually about those that walk around with no masks and just go, I'm exempt. You know, well, how many people are exempt and what real reason is there to be? You know, I think some people genuinely are having worries because they've got underlying health conditions, and other people are just milking the system, which is a bit annoying, because those of us who have got worries, I mean, I was the one that had that letter, nothing to do with the pneumonia that I had. This was to do with, in case you don't know, but most of you watching this 17 minutes in will know, I've got Crohn's disease and ankylosing spondylitis, which are autoimmune illnesses. There's others as well, but let's not just do a whole list. So those are my two main things, hence the hot water bottle on my back, because I'm a bit sore this morning. So because of those conditions, I had the letter from rheumatology at hospital to say, you are at severe risk if you catch the virus. You need 12 weeks isolation. This was like back in the summer. So complete like isolation. So I did, and you know, but now I'm like, well, has that gone, or have they just changed what they're talking about it? I don't know. But I mean, I'm slightly concerned because I've got those conditions, but I'm not on the medications that would make that a lot worse, because having an autoimmune condition means that your immune system attacks your body yourself, and so that there's medications they can give you to calm that immune system down so it stops doing that. So if your immune system is a bit quieter than it normally would be, then obviously, and you catch COVID, you're going to have a harder time fighting that off. So if I was on those medications, I could understand that, and they do sort of keep talking about putting me on them, but I'm like, well, thank you. But I was just going to ask you quickly, Jasmine, do you remember when you was at school and they started talking to you about how you feel about having a mum like me that's got these illnesses, and they started to try and say to you, oh, it must have messed you up and stuff like that? Do you remember?
Yeah, when I got like my really bad anxiety and stuff. Well, I can't really say really bad because
it was bad enough, and it was
bad enough.
It was your, you know, it is how you feel about it. So
yeah, I don't think that is what gave me that anxiety whatsoever.
So that's called something, isn't it? What you've got, your fear.
I think it's called a metaphobia.
Yeah. So do you want to say it or not really?
It's basically like a fear of people throwing up. So I know some people that have it just like fear of themselves being ill, but mine's just like generally, mainly other people, because I don't do that.
Yeah. And yeah, they started to say, oh, it's because she's grown up around me. But do you think that me having Crohn's and that has made much of a difference to your life?
No, not really. I don't think so. I think it's probably taught me to look after myself more and like listen to my body if I know, like if I eat something and I don't feel right,
Yeah.
to then listen to that and think, okay, maybe this food doesn't agree with me.
Yeah, that's true actually. That's a really good positive way of looking at it, because again, in case you guys don't know, I'm very much into the lifestyle approach, but I do feel that the last few days I've not felt very good, and I'm in quite a lot of pain, and I'm wondering if there might be something else I need to tweak, or do I need to start thinking about medication? I mean, I'm getting older as well, so that everybody's going to get that slight thing. Actually, I really shouldn't say that, because that's really bad, because I do believe that you can live a very healthy life, but you do need to do something. You do need to like make sure that you're doing your stretching and your yoga and eating right and all that stuff. And you know, so yeah, that's good actually that I've planted that seed in your brain. So that's nice. And I do talk about it a lot, like every single time. Like Jasmine was eating a packet of crisps last night, and I went like that as if could I have one, and straight away she looked at the label, she read the label, and she's like, you can't have them, because they got, you know, they got something in. And so, but I don't know, I mean, I think as well it's made me want to grab at life a little bit more. Who was I telling the other day? I was telling, yes, I know who I was telling. I was telling my friend the other day, like, obviously I had twins. I've got pretty, I don't want to call them horrific stretch marks because that's a negative, but I've got stretch marks, massive ones, and I do not give a monkeys because I just think I'm so lucky that I got to be pregnant and all the rest of it, and I don't see that there's any reason to cover them up if you're on a beach, whatever. But I did used to wear costumes rather than, it's so ridiculous when I think back now because I was really worried about my figure. I was like, oh my god. And what's that?
Apparently loss of pressure detected.
Oh no, what, a tyre?
The funny bit of rose.
Oh yeah, this always does this on the bit around 25. But anyway, so yeah, so basically we was I was just saying, it's gone. Oh yeah, my stretch marks. So when I was diagnosed with Crohn's, and obviously there's a lot of people have to have surgery with Crohn's, that was a bit of a fear, and I thought, well, while I can, I'm going to blooming well wear my bikini. Not that you can't if you've had surgery with Crohn's, I'm not saying that at all, so don't even go there. But yeah, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to, and I think it's made me live life a little bit more on the edge than I would. A little bit of don't give a monkeys quite so much about things.
Yeah.
Hey dog, oh, nice one, give me that person. Both did that at the same time.
I think as well, like the amount of people that be jealous of your stretch marks that like can't have kids, like they'll look at them and go, oh, I wish I had them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was really lucky as an infertile person, and just because you've had children doesn't mean you weren't infertile, you know. I still was infertile.
Yeah.
And it was for enough years, and I had a lot of miscarriages. I lost 12 babies very early on, and but I never had envy. I used to, if my friends got pregnant, and I think I was one of the few because I know so many of my friends, infertile friends who I've made friends with online, who really struggled with anybody saying they was pregnant. I did, but then I thought, please let me hold your baby, please let me just be around this child, and that was how I sort of felt, and
Almost that happy for them. There's not, I don't think there's any point in like being jealous of someone because it's not like a positive feeling.
That is really, really hard not to do when you want something so much, and I was so obsessed with it. I just, you know, I don't think I could have gone through the amount of fertility treatment I did if I wasn't completely, and I never was, you know, like I say to Jasmine now, like, how do you feel about having children? And she's been like, well, there's that benefit, and then there's that negative, and then, you know, please don't rain today, Jesus, come on, let's have nice weather.
It'll be alright.
It's black as night. It's supposed to be sunny in our neck of the woods when Charlie's actually getting married, so fingers crossed. But I always was like, want a baby. The funniest thing is though, I only ever thought about getting pregnant. I knew all there was to know about getting pregnant, being pregnant. Did you think that was Nathan's car then for a minute?
No, but I didn't. It didn't.
It looked like Nathan's car, and it had NU on the number plate, so I was a bit like, association. So yeah, it was. I don't know. I think I was just so lucky to be so driven with it, and I would have been that person that you just said about if I hadn't had you and Nathan, and it would have been literally that one thing because their dad and I split up just after that. That's in the upcoming book, which will probably be released next year. I reckon I'm going to aim to get that done by 2021. And so that happened, and there wasn't any other opportunities. I didn't meet that person to have that child with. So that was that. I mean, we were married young, very lucky. years together, and we split up when I was 29. So I was still plenty young enough to could have met someone and had another child. But then maybe if I hadn't had you and Nathan, I might have met that person. So you know what I mean? It's just how life unfolds. But I think we were just destined to be a single parent family.
Yeah, I think it worked well for us. I mean, I've not really known any different, so
exactly,
you know, but
we've had a great time.
Yeah, I think sometimes, like, I don't know, I just wouldn't change it because we're all really close.
We are, and for you guys, it's weird to think now about me and your dad together.
Yeah, it is.
And we had some really good times. We did have some really, we did a lot together.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like negative feeling there whatsoever.
No, but when you look at us now, we're such completely different human beings. He would look at me and go, who the hell is she? And probably me the same with him. But I think maybe we just, I don't know, you grow into yourself almost, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, because we were children, really, when we met, little children. And, you know, so yeah. But at the end of the day, you know, and the book has got to be written a bit dramatically to be, like, an interesting story, readable. But underlying at the end of the day, I've got you and Nathan, who's my absolute heartbeat, and I just think I'm really lucky. So, thanks yourself.
I don't know what the right response to that is, but like, oh, me too.
But yeah, thanks for sticking around. Because in case you don't know, just really briefly, IVF.
Getting off here, am I?
No, carry on. Got ages to go. You've got to go past Heathrow Airport, yeah?
Oh, that's okay.
Long way to go. I'm really looking forward to filming this video in the hotel and stuff. It'd be different because we normally like to stay in Premier Inns, and I still really like staying in Premier Inns, but I did sort of think, what can we show you guys? So we've spoken to this hotel. They're like, yeah, come and have a look around, and so we're gonna, yeah, it'd be lovely. Actually, I didn't even think if they've got some, I don't think they've got some pools and stuff. No. Anyway, so yeah, IVF, just basically what they do is there's a lot that your body goes through as a woman. And then they take out your eggs, and I had 11 eggs, and they took them out surgically out of my ovaries before I ovulated, obviously, state the obvious. And then the man did his bit. We won't go too far into that because that would totally gross Jasmine out. And then they put them together in a petri dish, which is one of them little things that you use in school when you're doing experiments, and do lots of other things with them that's really complex to give them the best chance of fertilisation. So out of those 11 eggs, I had 4 fertilised, 3 little embryos, which were a 4-cell structure. It was a 4-cell structure, and it was put back inside my womb, along with Nathan and 1 other embryo. And the 4th embryo went in the freezer. And
so does that mean they put 3 babies in you? Did they expect, like, I don't know, like, were you expecting to have
triplets?
3? How does that work? Do they put 3 in and not expect all of them to stick?
They look at, and obviously it's very different now because things have improved. Like, you see, they do a lot now. There's certain clinics you can go to and they have a really high success rate. So because I was 29, so you could either be 29 or 30. If you was 30, they would definitely put 3 in. At 29 or in your 20s, they would generally only put 2 in because you're more fertile, there's more going on, and you're more healthy. So there's the chance, they look at the chances, you know, the ratios of what's the chances of this and that. So putting 3 in, yeah, they fully expected that 3 could have taken, and there was a percentage chance for that, a percentage chance for twins, a percentage chance for 1, and a percentage chance for none. The percentage chance for none for me to not get pregnant was 75%.
So that's still really high. So for you to get 2 of us is like rare.
Yeah, so there's a rare-ish. I mean, you see a lot more twins now, and I think sometimes a lot of it is because of the fertility thing. But my clinic was brilliant, and that was Bourne Hall Clinic, and they're going to feature a lot in the book because the place was beautiful, and in fact we're going to go there, I think, because we did go back to my old hall. I've still got to edit that video and get it up from last summer. Was that last summer? Summer before? No, last summer, because that was when I did the summer before, yeah. Oh, anyway, so there was a brilliant clinic, and that's when they actually invented, if you like, IVF. There was 2 men. Yeah, there was 2 men that had the first IVF baby called Louise Brown, and she's in her 30s now. And they really went through some awful stuff because people were saying they were playing with God and all of that sort of thing. And
it's a bit like, I don't know, it's not like that at all. I was going to say, like, you know, like Dolly the sheep when they cloned her, and people were saying that it's wrong, but that's not quite the same thing, really.
It's not that dissimilar. It is making something that hasn't naturally made, but it has naturally made, because if you really wasn't supposed to be here and we'd had that help, and then you still didn't stick, and or I had a miscarriage or whatever, then you weren't meant to be here. Do you know what I mean? So it all works out all right, and you're perfectly fine.
Big
debate, but you think if I'd given up, you wouldn't be here now. You wouldn't be driving this car. We wouldn't be going to Charlie's wedding.
No.
Where would I be living? What would my life look like? I wouldn't have the stretch marks, but then would I have had the new husband? God knows. There's so many things that you think different paths that life can take you in. What have we got? It's such an interesting story, and talking about life and things, isn't it? So what happened was, when they took my blood, because back then they took your blood to do the pregnancy, they said you could take a pregnancy test a pregnancy test like a normal one where you wee on it 10 days after you've had your embryos put inside. So I counted 10 days, and I was there poised and ready, and I took a test, and I saw a very faint little pink dot, and I was like, oh my God, because I'd seen so many faint results before on tests, and I was like, get it up to the light. I won't go into that because that's going to be in the book, all these things you do, and then you pull it apart, and then you get a flashlight and you look underneath. Is there a line or isn't there? Anyway, there's this faint pink dot, and I couldn't deny it, and I was like, oh my God, that's a maybe dot. And I took another one the next day, and it was stronger, and I was like, wow. And then the next day was my I had to go for my blood tests, and they can tell, they look at your hormone levels, they take an actual number. And I knew if this number was below that, it meant that. If this number was above that, it meant that. And it could potentially mean this and this and this. And obviously everybody's body's different. But mine came back obviously positive, with a number of 247. And I was like, that indicates multiples, doesn't it? And they was like, well, we can't say that for sure till you've had your scan. But the numbers are looking very encouraging. And I was like, wow. And I did, so when I went for my scan, which was 3 weeks.
How do you know that early on as well?
Yeah, not many people do. Obviously, you can't tell that on a pea stick. But yeah, so when I went for my scan, I was 7 weeks pregnant, and I could see these two little dots, and I went, "It's twins, isn't it?" Which was my ideal, really, because triplets I think would have been difficult because I've only got 2 arms, and there wasn't another person. So
imagine a pushchair with 3.
Yeah, I looked them up. There was, they go 2 and then 1 on top. It's like that. But again, how I would have got that in the back of my car, I don't know, because I drove a Ford Escort all the time. But I don't know. So anyway, yeah, it was just, I don't know, such a lovely story, and I think I'm very lucky. Thanks. Thanks for clinging on. So yeah, so anyway, there we go. Big old life chat about stuff. Hope you guys are still tuned in. Don't forget to leave the video a thumbs up. Go check out her channel. She does completely different things to me, really, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, just we're quite similar in a lot of ways, and the fact that we both really love doing YouTube, and we love it when you guys comment and give us thumbs ups and stuff. But you're more your traditional YouTuber, I would say, and I'm a little bit out there. But I think it would be weird if I was to do makeup and hair and clothes. I mean, it wouldn't, because obviously there's still women of my age out there that want to know about that stuff.
Yeah. But I guess it just depends whatever you're into, really.
What you're into, yeah. I mean, I like to wear nice clothes with skulls on them because it's Halloween, and I like to do my makeup and my hair, and I do know about hair, and those hair videos that we've put up have done so well. But I'm more about your lifestyle and your mindset, and that's something that I'm so passionate about. I think it comes across, doesn't it, when you make a video you're really passionate about. So yeah, so if you're into that kind of mind you, your travel vlogs are amazing. Her edits are brilliant. Yeah, that's it. These cars, we're not going up the M4. So nice to talk to you. big old chat. You've been asking for it for a long time, and if you did like this, do let us know, because we'll do another one. Oh, it's a car just like mine. That's a brand new one. I'm not getting a new one yet. No. But yeah, I love my car. It's gorgeous. But we brought Jasmine's today because we thought we could share the driving. And you're not on my insurance yet, are you? Might be able to try and get that.
I was once for a little bit. That was a fun trip.
They did like to charge us a lot of money. So yeah. Anyway, bye for now. Thanks for watching. Watch another video. Why not?